Google.com. Arguably one of the internet's most valuable and well-known internet site domains there has ever been. It's so popular, in fact, that to search for something on the internet, it's become a common phrase. Just Google it. Just Google this, Google that, despite what Google might tell you. When it comes to searching things on the internet, most people say just Google it, which has now come synonymous with everyday language. But did you know in 2015 that someone at Google monumentally dropped the ball on this and, due to a very minor error, actually had the domain of Google.com sold to a complete stranger? This is the story of how Google lost Google.com. Hello! Welcome to Brain Spill, the laziest show on the internet. My name is Tank. And if you were going to buy a domain like Google.com, you'd imagine it would probably sell for tens of millions of dollars. But what if I told you that in 2015, it was sold to someone for just $12? Nope, there are no more zeros on the end of that number, just $12. What an absolute bargain. Bearing in mind that Google was founded in the year 1998, it's weird and surprising that some random guy was able to purchase Google.com 17 years later. This is mind-boggling to understand how this could have even happened. You might just think that this is a random troll tale online or something that someone made up in order to get some clicks on a journalism article. But the guy we're talking about today has the receipts to prove the fact that yes, he did actually purchase Google.com. The man we're talking about today is called Sanmay Ved. And to catalogue everything he did, he's even made a LinkedIn post to show exactly how he did this and posted all the pictures to show that yes, he really did this. A strange thing happened at 1:20 AM Eastern Time on Tuesday, September 29. I was learning more about the Google Domains interface and typed google.com and clicked search domains. To my surprise, google.com was showing as available. I clicked the add to cart icon beside the domain, which should not appear if the domain is not available for sale. The domain actually got added to my cart as seen by the green checkbox, and the domain appeared in my cart. I was hoping I would get an error at some time saying transaction did not go through, but I was able to complete purchase and my credit card was actually charged. I can imagine that anybody that is searching Google domains will, jokingly of course, search google.com, the very website they're using to purchase the domains with, just to see if you can buy it, expecting that there'd be nothing there. Sanmay did the same thing. However, he looked and realised that, for whatever reason, google.com was available for purchase. Sanmay even went on to explain that after the purchase was completed, he even started to receive automated emails, something which he never had before, which seemed to indicate that yes, he had actually just purchased Google.com. As soon as I completed purchase, I received two emails, one from sc-no-reply@google.com and one from wmt-no-reply@google.com, which is not the norm when you book domains via Google Domains, as I have booked new previously unregistered domains before, and I've never received emails from the above aliases on booking the domains. I will not share the contents of the emails here, given they relate to the Google.com domain. The domain also successfully appeared in my Google Domains order history. You know what, guys, I've been thinking about this, and if I stumbled upon the website where I found out that I could buy Google.com for $12, I know the first thing I would do when I got that website, seem as though that it has millions of users each day. I would go on that homepage, and all I would do is put a link directly to this channel. And of course, we know that the world needs more of me. So, Google has just lost Google.com, and you'd imagine that somebody would probably pick up on this and take the domain back, which you'd think that's what they did in this case. And you'd be right, because Sanmay received an email shortly afterwards to confirm that the purchase was pretty much unsuccessful and that yes, he did not actually own Google.com. Basically, the email confirmed cancellation and he was refunded the money that he put in to purchase the domain. And upon going back and having a look, the domain of Google.com was no longer available for purchase. Damn, so close, but so far. Funnily enough, this isn't even the first time something like this has happened, as back in 2003, the domain for hotmail.co.uk was lost by Microsoft in a very similar stunt. And in this case, the renewal of the webmail service expired, and someone else was able to purchase the domain that very day. Problem was at the time was that the domain was not actually owned by themselves personally, which meant that Microsoft actually lost the page. I can't imagine whoever was responsible for this got off lightly. Microsoft themselves didn't even know this had happened for the longest time, until they were contacted to ask why this domain was registered to a private individual. And again, you'd think that a company as big as Microsoft would have had something in place to make sure that the domains to their biggest sites was, protected in some way, or at least had some sort of fail-safe, to prevent it from being put back into public circulation in some form or another. But no, even the biggest companies can make a massive cock-up sometimes, so that's just something to bear in mind. Despite all this, Microsoft were apparently able to reach out to the new owner and come to an agreement to make sure that the site was returned in their safe ownership. There are no further details as to what this was involved with, and Microsoft have not really commented any further on this massive mistake they made, which makes this even funnier because they've just not addressed it since. So yeah, despite this kind of embarrassing episode, they just kind of swept it under the rug and hoped that nobody would notice. Now, back to the Google fiasco, and our man of the hour, San Mei, even went on record to say that even though he had the domain, he had no intention of using it in any malicious ways, and as a matter of fact, he's actually a big fan of Google and their services. San Mei in this blog post even says that he wasn't a man seeking glory or financial gain off Google's name. He even self-admits his love for the Google services and comments on the fact that he actually reported this to Google to notify them of this clear error, to which Google acknowledged that they were going to investigate this further, but then the unexpected occurred. Update on Thursday, October 8th. Google Security has now contacted me and has offered me a reward in a very googly way. I wrote back and told them it was never about money and asked that the money be donated to charity to the Art of Living India Foundation. They've replied and they've stated that they understand and respect the fact that this was not about getting a reward. Despite that, given what they found and how this was handled, they are excited to offer me a reward. So what then seemingly happened was that Google agreed to double the amount that they were going to pay San Mei, but pay the entire amount to charity instead, which is a very, very honourable thing to do. Despite the fact that they'd pretty much just lost Google.com for a very short period of time. This money was doubled and then given to the charity that San Mei had requested, a charity which ran 404 free schools across 18 states in India, providing free education to more than 39,000 children in the slums, tribal and rural belts in India. This San Mei guy, what a guy. This figure would soon be known to the public in a Google security blog post confirming that the reward was originally going to be $6,006.13. But upon discovering his intentions to then donate this to charity, this was doubled to just over $12,000, which went to an incredibly good cause. I don't care about the money. It was never about the money. I always want to set an example that it's people who want to find bugs, that it's not always about the money. So, if you ever want to find a domain and purchase it on the cheap, which is a domain as big as Google, mind you, to do that you basically have to be very lucky, and very lucky. And honestly, at the bargain price of $12, I'm pretty sure all of us would have done the exact same thing. However, this story clearly shows that there are people with more morals than myself, for example, because I was joking earlier about just simply using the website for my own gain to stick my YouTube channel at it. But then you've got awesome people like San Mei who actually make a good cause out of it and are able to donate to charity at the same time. Something which I would have done eventually, I'm sure. If you liked the video, be sure to like and subscribe. If you want to be notified as soon as I upload my next video, be sure to hit the bell button. And if you've got any ideas for what topics you'd like me to discuss next, let me know down in the comments below. As always, sources used in the video will be in the description. So you'd hope that big corporations would learn from these mistakes and actually put some fail-safes in place to prevent something like this happening in the future. But I'm pretty sure that this will not be the last time we'll have heard a big company losing their website in the most ridiculous way. Everybody, I want you to place your bets right now who the next company is who is going to fall for this massive trap. And, well, tell me who you think it's going to be. Oh, and for anyone that may acquire a big website in some similar means in the future, all I ask is that somewhere on the page, you just stick this YouTube channel link on it. You know, just because you can. That never came from me, I'm just, giving you an idea. I'll see you guys in the next video. Fantastic.